Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Joshua Alabi finally shares a secret on NDCs historical victory, which I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail. And he deserves an applaud because he did massively well as a campaign manager. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said into detail. Your comments are most welcome. Please do leave a comment at the comment section after watching. Subscribe as a new member and also share to other friends of yours to have a feel of what is happening around the political arena. Thank you. Stay tuned.
Yes, is Professor Joshua Alabi. He led the NDC campaign to victory in the 2024 election. Prof, you're welcome to Hot Issues.
Thank you. Thank you. You're looking good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good, yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Did you see the victory come at this magnitude?
Actually, first, greetings to your cherished listeners. I must say, I saw the victory after the 2020 elections, coming in 2024.
All the way 2020?
Yeah, I saw the victory coming from there.
How so?
Yeah. You know, 2016, NDC made about 106 or so parliamentary seats. While the MPP made, I think 169.
169, yes.
169. Okay. So we came to 2020, and the election is not the day of the election or the declaration of the result. It's a process. And so in 2020, if you recall, during the registration exercise, I don't know how you see it, but from our point of view, there was a lot of suppression in the voter registration in our strongholds, especially in the Volta Region, with the military intimidating our supporters in Volta Region. And sometimes some places in the hinterland, like Bandeko, where we have a lot of the Ewe community and the northern community, I mean, it was all over. There was some suppression. Again, in 2020, we had COVID. And but COVID, the government machine was running. And whilst they were running, they were working. We were able to sleep. Right. Yeah, so we were asleep because, I mean, by the regulations and everything, we don't have to come out. Again, so once the government machine was running, they were also campaigning in a way, and where they got money from the IMF and all the places, and they used that to campaign. So this with the suppression of the voter registration, and we were released to campaign around somewhere in July. Of course, July to December, you can imagine, where we had to do a crash program. So we did our best to put all our structures in place. But I remember even a week to the election in 2020, we've not had a full complement of our agents, especially in Ashanti Region, left alone to train them, okay, because of the time. Right. Yeah, so, and the amount of money they also pumped into the system. A place like Northeast, I quite recall from the information that I have, every MPP candidate got close to about 1.5 million to 2, right? And we gave our candidates about 15,000, you know, to go and fight 1.5 million or 1.2 million. So, yeah. But at the end of the results, what happened? What really happened? We pulled them from 169 to 137. Yes. And we reduced the gap from about 1 million to about 500. Okay. So when I hear people thinking that they have some magic wand somewhere, it looks funny to me because, I mean, they are not exceptional human beings. And more so when we have run affairs of this country, we've won 2 elections in a row. They've won 2. We also won 2 and won 2. What makes them exceptional? Exceptional. Yeah. Exceptional. And I used to tell my colleagues that, no, I don't think it will be difficult. So looking at from 2016 results to 2020 and the difficulty that we had in pushing through our 2020 results, which we believe we won, but well, the court said they won. So let's leave that. I was confident that with some work, little work, we could wrestle power in 2024.
Let's talk about that work. What were the lessons of 2020 that you brought into 2024?
A lot of lessons, a lot of lessons. I mean, let's remove the COVID aspect because that was a natural thing.
Yes.
And we slept and slept well at that time. I must say, we had to look at the elections and IT directorate very well because from the 2020, we did some work in the whole country, where top officers of the party or top functionaries of the party were made to go to the constituencies to assess the situation very well. I remember I went to Binduri. Again, I went to Kwabri East. I went to Fantiakwa North. I went to Subin and Boswin, some other constituencies. What did we do? Well, we were assigned to go to every branch of the constituency to assess what really happened. And in assessment, we realized that some places in Ashanti region, where we are supposed to have 9 executives in every police station, we call it branch. At the end of the results, we scored 0. So you see, if you have 9 officers in the branch, you score 0.
It means they didn't vote for you.
I can't tell whether they were really our members. But who?
And you are talking about the 2020 election.
Yeah. No, we are talking about the 2020 election. Yeah, we scored 0. Some 9 executives, but we got 3, 2. Then there's a question there.
Yeah.
Because if we have 9 executives, at least we should score 9, right? And even maybe their relatives and friends, they could bring them on board. So it should be a minimum of 9. But it wasn't so. So there's something we have to do there. So we started work seriously to reorganize the branches, to get the branches in place. And you can see almost every top officer has something to do. We spread all out and got our branches in place. First, we went through another registration process to be a member of the party. And before you qualify to contest as a branch manager, you should have some history in the party. That is, you should have been in the party for some number of years, about 4 years or so. That should guarantee us that you are really, really a party member to lead us in that particular police station, which is a branch. Okay. So we kept all these reforms there and made sure that we got the branches right. Now, if you have the base right, then you have solved about 50% of your problem because they are going to work and they are going to make sure that you get there. So that was done. Then we looked at the reorganization of the election and IT director too. First, we had election director and at the same level with the IT director. There was no cohesion. Seriously. So we combined the two to make the election IT director, where there will be an officer who will supervise all of them and make sure that all policies and programs fall in line in that sector. That also worked very well, so that was okay. And through that, there were a lot of, reviews and programs that they do, which really, as we go on, we can come out to some of them. But the IT directorate and nation that did very, 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 very well. Then we also decided to spread out. We had the flag bearer who happened to be the main person, and he had a very strong team moving with him. And the running mate who had a team, then the national chairman, which never happened before, also had a team. Aside that, the youth wing and other wings also, and the women's wing also had their team, all spread out.
Right.
Then individual groups in the party also did their job by spreading out. So it was
everybody was involved.
We harassed them. We're everywhere. Sometimes we go to a region with the flag bearer, and I see some of my colleagues who are not from our team also they're doing some work. Right. So we're crisscrossing the whole country. We're all over. And I think that also did some work for us.
In your vote bank, the Volta region, you completely wiped out the current administration, and NPP in that region. Prior to the 2024 elections, there were concerns, particularly from residents in the Volta region, that they felt abandoned even by your party while in office. What do you think did the trick for them to do a 360 back to the NDC?
I'm not an account, but sometimes I understand the language. And there's a music that say, me yiri dada, Sambe Wama.
Yes.
The new one has deceived me. Is that's the meaning of that song?
Yes.
A very good song. I like that song. You know. So, you know, we for example, let's look at the stretch there, the corridor, the road that we're trying to complete. They were deceived that we've done nothing for them, right? And you know, we want more from your father, but you don't know what your uncle may give you. You don't know, but you want more from your father. So they were deceived. They took it in. And they decided to go to their uncle, right? But their uncle was too bad. But again, you see, we went around all the consensus in Volta Region, and at every village, the chief in the opening remarks will tell us almost all the projects in this community was done by the NDC. I was surprised because I was also made to believe that we didn't do well for our brothers in the Volta Region. But they will tell you the water NDC, the light NDC, what NDC, and I got surprised. So sometimes I used to discuss that with some of our MPs and candidates. Why didn't we make that noise? And they bought that in, and for that matter, they punished us with Ohoy. But this time around, our brothers came in, and they did nothing for them. It was more of talking. Then they realized that no, our former wife
was better.
Better, and our former wife can do better, and we need to go back to our former wife. And that's why he was whipped just like that. Whipped. It was just not only winning the election, but he was whipped because I mean, you can't keep on deceiving the people. But there's something I always say. You see, when it comes to getting the people around you, you know, I used to tell people that a pastor once said there are 3 groups of people that you should be worried about. And I listened to the pastor very well. And when I relate to politics, I quite agree with him. No, the pastor said there are the wicked ones. The wicked one is a wicked one. He's just wicked. It's to be difficult for you to change the wicked one. Very, very difficult. He's wicked. He wants something, you should not have it. Right?
So who's the wicked one here?
I want to finish, you understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Then he says again that we have the selfish ones. The selfish ones will even go and loot what they don't even need, just because they don't want you to have it.
Right. So
you see them looting all over. Looting, taking. What is this? I take. What is I take? Maybe what they left for us is a transport stadium, but they've taken everything, right? These are very selfish ones. That's things you don't even need. Leave that for the people. You take them. They are selfish ones. So it will be difficult for you to work on the wicked ones and the selfish ones. But the third group that you can work on, the third group, the innocent ones, who were misled and deceived. Okay? So you have your government and somebody comes to tell you, vote for me, I'll give you, every child, 1 egg a day. Of course, it sounds beautiful. Vote for me, 1 district, 1 factory. It's beautiful. Vote for me, 1 child, 1 chocolate. Vote for me, 1 constituency, $1 million a year. So you see, our people didn't sit down to really digest this serious to see how feasible that would be and how possible that would be. And that's why we call the innocent ones. So it was our duty now to now explain to the innocent ones that, look, what they told was a lie, and if you give them again, it will be worse. It will be worse. So our work was more on our innocent brothers and sisters to turn them around, and to some extent in Hohoi, that was done perfectly by our candidates and our group. And that's why we're able to go
Very
through.
well.
Yeah.
And you had an impressive 33% in the Ashanti region.
Yes, yes.
I mean, what does that tell you? That the NDC was able to almost meet its target of 35%?
You know, some of us always maintain that the votes we get from Ashanti are not really the votes.
Are not the real votes?
Yeah. There was a particular year where a deputy minister was made to be an agent. Okay? They lifted him from the place and threw him away. And the result that came from that police station was something else. You follow? So this time around, we had a lot of such stories. Okay, and our duty was to make sure that we get those who are registered to vote. Right? And once we get only those who are registered to vote, then we have reduced a gap from pardon. That was a key thing to do. So we're very vigilant on that. So sometimes, yes, it's true there was low turnout, but to some extent, the low turnout can be as a result of our vigilance and the fact that we make sure that we don't have people who were not registered voters, or people come to vote 3 or 4, or people putting ballots in their sleeves and finding ways of putting them in. Or at the end of the election, boxes will be used to exchange. We saw that, These were all things that we sat down and we analyzed and realized that, look, if we're able to work on these ones in Ashanti, we will get the percent that we want, because it's not possible for only Ashanti region alone to be having about 98% turnout. It's not possible. When the whole nation was around maybe 60, it's not possible. So there must be a fundamental problem that we're not looking at.
So you think that this 33% is the true reflection of the NDCs hold in the Ashanti region?
In this 2024
election,
is a true reflection.
Is a true reflection.
I believe that we are yet to even perfect it. And in the next 2028 election, it might be better than this.
I see.
Yeah.
What would you consider the toughest moment in this campaign?
There are a lot of tough moments, I must admit. A lot of tough moments. And it's very difficult for me to tell you that this was the toughest moment. This was the toughest moment. But I think that going around with His Excellency, the fact that people were yearning to meet with us, and we also draw our programs. So, for example, we tell you we'll be coming to you at 6 p.m. But on our way to the first constituency, we had people who were blocking us on the way, right? They feel we should talk to them. And that also affects the time.
You mean residents? They want to
for
hear
example,
from you.
You are moving from a constituency to another constituency, and this village is not part of the program. But we are passing through the village. We don't know who tells them.
Yeah.
Before we realize, they block the road and all that. And no negotiation. So the bottom line is that the SNC must get up, top there and talk to them
talk to the people
before it moves. And this affects our time. So there are times that we're supposed to be at a constituency around 6 p.m. and we're there at 2 a.m.
But did that also send a message to you that the people really wanted to hear from His Excellency?
Actually, that kept us going.
It kept you going?
Yeah, because you see, you are going to talk to the people to get their votes, right? And midway, they stop you. They want to hear from you. You talk to them. And you as a result, instead of getting to a particular constituency at 6 p.m., you are there at either 12 midnight or 1 a.m. And they are there in their numbers waiting for you, their chief. Then that points to the fact that, look, they want to listen to us and maybe they are with us. And when we go and they speak, you see clearly that they are with us. And that's why in most of my write-ups, I call it the People's Democratic Revolution. I could see clearly that the people want our brothers out, and nothing, absolutely nothing could stop it.
Which brings me to the question. There are those of the opinion that this election was just handed to the NDC because of the failures of the current administration, the NPP.
Yes, in 2020, they failed. But we didn't win the election because we didn't get enough time to really do our work the way we wanted in 2020. This time we got time. So it is not only about their failure, but your ability to let them know, the people know, that one, they deceived you, two, they have failed, and three, they must go for us to reset this nation. So yes, the failure added to it, but I must say our work also they did the trick. They can fail and you sit in your room and no message and you get nothing from them. So the work and everybody did what he had to do to get us there.
But when you look at the math, the NDC still did is 6 million plus.
Yeah.
The NPP, on the other hand, lost over 2 million compared to the 2020 election. And when people look at that math, they say that, well, people didn't turn up for the NPP, but turned up. The NDCs, 6 million, still turned up for them. So when you combine the math of 2024 and the math of 2020, then it is the NPP people who didn't come. That's why the NDC won.
Like I said earlier, I don't know, I don't have serious empirical evidence to this thing, but that is me as a campaign manager for His Excellency. I think that the 2024 election was padded. Yeah, and that is why they got that. This is a true reflection of the
2020
strength.
election.
Yeah, sorry, 2020 years. There was a lot of padding.
Okay.
And because 2020 election, they got Ashanti Region produced about what percentage? About 90 something. I mean, it's highly unrealistic. No, so with this, the figures will shoot up. But with vigilance, the rating will show, and that is your strength. And that is actually their strength. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Thanks to all our cherished viewers. We much appreciate your time on the channel. Thank you.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.